Mr. Brendan Ritchie.
How's it going?
Hey, I'm doing awesome. I'm glad you're here. Thank you for being here. And what I like is you came prepared with the goggles. That is awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I just got out of the pool, and I figure why not wear them onto the show. So I figure we're doing some deep diving. So got to be able to see underwater. I wear contacts. So got to protect those lenses.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, the look I have now, I got it's sunny, so I got the
Hmm.
hat and but I'm tanning right now, so I'm getting the arms
Oh,
tanned. But I do have the
yeah,
goggles for later as we go deeper
mm,
and jump
sounds
in.
good. Yeah, yeah. It's a little chilly here in Madison, Wisconsin, so I had to throw on a sweatshirt after I got out of the pool. So
Is it okay? Okay, understood. Yeah. No. Yeah. I want to say you're welcome to everybody watching because you only got 2 minutes of music and a background as opposed to 20 minutes. So you didn't have to wait 20 minutes to see us live. Plus, it was good music. Like I love the NFL countdown music. I don't know about you. I get goosebumps. I get pumped up when I hear it.
Hey Scott, we got a comment on the stream from Kevin
Is that
asking
right?
why it looks like it's being filmed on a toaster. So I don't know if you need to check your settings or your Wi-Fi or something, but it is
Hmm,
pixelated.
that's bad. Okay. All right. I'll tell you. I'm gonna get off the Wi-Fi on my other laptop, and I'm gonna get off the Wi-Fi on my phone. Hope that helps. Um, hmm. All right. Is that any better from what you can see?
Well, I'll be quite honest with you, Scott. My goggles are very foggy, so I can't really tell.
Hey, my sunglasses were getting foggy. That's why I had to take them off. Um, hmm. Okay. Okay. Let me check this out. I'm gonna switcheroonies. Um, the stream has been buggy so far. All right, Kevin. Sorry, Kevin texted me personally. I'm sorry.
Mm,
Okay. All right. We got a 30-second delay here. I don't know if it's choppy to like audio wise,
I
but
would assume so.
you know what? Yeah, I'm gonna try something here. This is gonna be risky, but I'm gonna switch over to my personal hotspot. I'm gonna make a hotspot on my phone, um, and connect my laptop. Not the line, just straight up winners and losers for all six matchups this week. And if you're 6 for 6, that's $15 of credit. So get your picks in. There's no cost to you on that. But it's good what Chris is doing. What do you think of Chris's lines this week, Brendan? You got any bets going?
So I don't have any bets on any of the lines yet. I think I'm just going to kind of feel it out for a week and just see how they end up looking. Like, did Chris do a good job of creating the lines for week one? I'll let your dad blow all the money on for week one bets. But I did do the pick'em this week already. I got my pick'em picks in. So I'm happy to inform you that I did pick you over Austin in your matchup. And let's see, who else did I do? I picked me for the upset over Mr. B. So I'm looking forward to that victory. He doesn't have any of the Ravens this week. And I've got my full roster, I guess, as full as it's going to be with Dak and Saquon out. So I'm looking forward to that dub this week over the Beasts. And we're going to get back in the win column here for the Heroes. So
Okay, very good. Yeah, I think we're on the same page there. I picked rye bread. I hate doing that.
mm,
Hate doing that,
I,
but
I, I went with Johnny this week, but it was coin flip for me.
sure. Sure. No, I actually did. I do have three $10 bets that I
Mm.
submitted, and Brendan, you'd be happy to know I took you to cover plus 18.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. I'm looking forward to covering and then some.
I think I don't know if this is more wishful, hopeful thinking, but I think you got a chance. I love your matchups. Your players got some really juicy matchups. I gotta say.
Yeah, for sure. I've got Fulgham going against the Giants, and I mean he's been an absolute stud these past couple of weeks. I'm very, very lucky to have him. Thank you, Austin, for leaving Cam Newton on your COVID IR past when he got pulled off of it. So I appreciate it. And yeah, I'm looking forward to having him in the lineup this week. I think Tyler Boyd's got a pretty good matchup. Tampa Bay's got a decent matchup against the Raiders.
Yeah,
The Lions are going up against the Falcons, so I think I've got some pretty solid matchups this week to maybe give the Beasts a run for their money. So
absolutely. Yeah, I thought the DeAndre Swift, Kenny Galladay against the Falcons really did it for me. So
mm,
I picked the Beast to beat you, but I think you'll be able to potentially win, but definitely cover 18. So we'll see what
mm.
happens there. And then I took two under bets, one with Chris and Patrick, and then the other with Kevin and Alex for
So sounds
my
good.
bets. Yeah. So let's get into this, Brendan, because I'm gonna start by saying when going through your trade history, this is gonna be like a 60% compliment, 40% offense. So
Okay.
you you have never really lost a trade, in my opinion, by like a large margin. Like there was nothing that stood out where I
Hmm.
thought Brendan lost that trade. Okay, now with you being the second highest trader in this league's history behind Johnny, that's
Hmm.
impressive. But I'll also say you're by far going to win the most like you have the most insignificant trades.
Yes.
So you certainly won some, but there were tons out there where I'm like, who are these players? Why was a trade made? This just
Yeah.
needs to be deleted because nobody cares. So you
Yeah.
so you kind of have that going for you too.
Yeah. And you know what? I think a lot of that is like, I guess when I started in the league back in 2014, is I was kind of new to fantasy football to begin with, honestly. Like I'd only played like maybe 1 or 2 years before that. So I was fairly new to fantasy football as a whole. And then I was obviously very new to dynasty fantasy football. So I think of the first couple of years was me just trying to figure out what the heck I was doing. And I think that led to a lot of like very bizarre and also insignificant trades that just didn't mean anything in the long run. But I think I've gotten much better at least trying to address team needs through the trade. So
Yeah. No, that makes sense. And yeah, because Brendan, I hate to put this out there, but by playoff appearances, you are the least successful franchise in our history. But
mhm.
you take it as a 60% compliment because you haven't really lost trades. Like I said, you just had a lot of insignificant ones, and the one I wanted to start off with, maybe the most insignificant at all of all. Um, Take me through the Roberto Aguayo and Moritz Boringer trade between you and Ryan. That is an all timer right there. What was your
Sure, yeah.
thought process?
Well, I mean, I guess my thought process going into it was I think this was what 2016. Is that the year that it happened?
That's
Or was,
yes, I believe that's correct.
yeah, okay. So I guess this was still what our second rookie draft in league history. I think 2015 and then 2016. So like it was still me trying to figure out sort of what I was doing.
Yeah.
Um, and at the time, I had heard this like sort of unknown German wide receiver who had played in like the German football league and got drafted by the Vikings. And I was like, okay, so this guy's either going to be an absolute stud or he's going to just be the most insignificant player of all time and just be a practice squad guy forever. So I figure, well, I'll draft the kicker, right? Brian ended up sniping Boringer in front of me
Yep.
in the draft, and I was not happy about it because I wanted to take that gamble with him. And I was like, okay, I'll just draft Aguayo for fun because there was nobody left that I liked. And then I was just like, hey, Ryan, do you want Aguayo for Boringer? And Ryan was like, sure, because he probably figured Boringer's not going to do anything. And Aguayo might be the greatest kicker in NFL history because he was the highest drafted kicker in NFL history, I'm pretty sure at the time. So, it was a trade that I guess was mutually beneficial at the time in terms of what people wanted, but in the end, it didn't matter because Aguayo was terrible, and Behringer is actually still in the NFL, believe it or not. I think he was last on the Cincinnati Bengals practice squad last I
Oh,
checked. So
he's a
he's still
practice
floating
squad.
around, still floating around in the NFL. But yeah, just a practice squad guy, it appears. So
Better than Aguayo could say, I guess. Yeah, because Aguayo, someone says like most successful college football kicker of all time. So it's weird that didn't translate to the NFL.
yeah,
But
for sure, Florida State. I mean, he set records like college football and at Florida, like just lit the record books on fire basically in college. So very interesting sometimes how that works. Where like kickers from like Zerline who went to no name state university, like it just ends up being great kickers in the NFL, and then a guy like Aguayo just can't put it together. It's kind of weird.
yeah, yeah, that is strange. And the other thing that I noticed when going through your trades is your obsession with Jerick McKinnon. And I think the league deserves an answer from you on why Jerick McKinnon um, is constantly on your team and off your team, but then ends up back on your team. So you've traded for him twice now, and then you've picked him up in free agency, at least once
Yeah.
that I know of. So what is it
Mhm.
with Jerick McKinnon that you see in him?
Okay, so I guess first of all, Jerick McKinnon was a quarterback in college, so he's like super athletic guy. And they converted into a running back. I want to say either his last year in college or like when he came to the NFL. And he basically lit the NFL Combine on fire. Um, I could pull up his stats for you here. Give me 1 second. But
Okay, that's interesting.
he's one of the most athletic players in the NFL based on his like combine stats. Let
Okay.
me pull him up here. So the guy ran a 4.41 40.
QB.
He
Okay.
benched 32 reps. I don't know what that weight standard is, but 32, which is 99th percentile. So let's like Saquon Barkley territory of bench reps. Uh, he he's got amazing burst. He's basically in like the 90th percentile in basically every single metric that is measured at the combine. So this dude's a freak athlete. Um, and I like him so much because of that. And I figured if he ever got a solid opportunity in the NFL, he would he would do something with it. And I mean, San Francisco sort of agreed. They signed him to all that money, and then he ended up tearing his ACL, so it was unfortunate. And I mean, he was behind Dalvin Cook for a year in Minnesota, so it's unfortunate that that happened. So he kind of got unlucky because Peterson was there, and then it was Dalvin Cook. So I mean, he's just been behind two all-star caliber running backs his whole career, and he was a small school guy. I think it was Georgia Southern or something. So he didn't have that like pedigree of a big school to go off of, and he's been stuck behind running backs that have been, if not Hall of Fame caliber, Pro Bowl caliber his whole career. So we're starting to see a little bit when he gets the rock at a decent rate. With Mostert out, he's an RB1 in fantasy. So I mean, the talent's there, which is why I've kept trading for him.
Well, you're starting him this week too, aren't you?
Yeah, I mean, Mostert's out, and I mean, who's San Francisco going to give the ball? It has to be McKinnon. Hasty is a rookie who has gotten very minimal touches, and if Coleman plays, he's coming off of an injury, and if he doesn't play, all that's left is Jeff Wilson, who is just a guy. So,
Yeah.
uh, I mean,
What?
McKinnon's
Hey,
going to get probably 20 touches.
don't forget about Kyle Juchek. He might get the
Yeah,
rock.
yeah, he might be doing some blocking for McKinnon, I think.
I'd say that's more likely. So fair enough. Yeah, I mean McKinnon has gone on and off your team, but he has found a way to be back on it. So being behind on some stud RBs and his injury history, if you combine those two things, that makes sense why he isn't broken out just yet. But we'll see. We'll see if that turns out for you. Hey, if McKinnon could become like a maybe top five running back the rest of the season, could have a playoff chance because that seems to be your weakness right now.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be hard to make the playoffs without Dak. I mean, he's putting up like 30 points a week basically for me, and it's not having that is just going to be like a nuke to my team, I think. Because Brady's not going to put up 30 points a week. He's not that quarterback anymore. So it'll be tough.
You know, quick little segue here. Uh, well, I'll get off topic. So I see the beast are in the chat, but I have a trivia question for you, Brendan.
Uh
So
huh.
we're 6 weeks into the NFL season. Could you tell me who the quarterback is with the most passing yards through 6 weeks is?
It's Dak Prescott, believe it or not.
It is Dak. Now, do you know who number two is?
Matty Ice.
It is 62-year-old, according to the Beast, just like Drew Brees, however old Drew Brees is, just washed up Matt Ryan. Horrible season, just the way the Beasts were talking was just as old, if not older than Brees. Um, but yeah, last I checked, Brendan, he is also doing good along with Prescott. So yes, Beast, if you're listening, Matt Ryan is not washed up. Please do not, and this goes for everybody in the league, do not criticize my players. Okay? I will stick up for my guys. I know how old they are. Matt Ryan is 6 years younger than Drew Brees. And if you're interested in him, 5 first round picks will do it. So let me know. Okay, you brought up Dak Brendan, and I had to fit that in there because I saw that stat earlier
Hmm.
today. But you also mentioned Saquon when talking about McKinnon's, comparing their athleticism, which is the first trade, meaningful trade, I guess, that I'd like to go over with you.
Sure.
And because this trade back in November of 2016 was, you could say, the start of like the first trade that happened that's kind of forming your team today. And what's
Hmm.
really intriguing about this trade is it might be the most mutually beneficial trade in our history. I think both of you, both you and Austin, in hindsight, would be happy to do this trade again. What do you think of this trade?
Yeah, I at the time I think I was near the bottom of the league. I don't remember exactly where I was in 2016. I think I might have won the toilet bowl that year over your dad or something. But I was on the downswing that year, um, and Drew Brees was getting older. Cooks was his best receiver at the time, and at least I think so. I don't think Michael Thomas had broken out yet. So, it was Breeze and Cooks, and Austin was making a run at the championship. So, I went to him. I was like, "You need a quarterback and you need a wide receiver. I've got two. I've got two pieces for you here, and I need some picks. So I got a pick in every single round. Um, I got a first round in 2018, second in 2017. You can see it right there, but. Um, I guess at the time I didn't know how this was going to work out for me. Like, there's no possible way I could have known that in 2018 Austin would be going from like worst to first. Um, but it ended up being just a stroke of luck that I landed in the number one overall spot in 2018, allowing me to draft Barkley. And I mean, I it I thought about it for like 5 minutes. I was like, do I want to draft a quarterback? Because obviously quarterbacks in this league are top dollar. You need them to win. But could I pass up a generational talent at the running back position? And the answer I came to in 5 minutes was no, I can't. And so that's how I landed Saquon. And I got lucky with it, but it ended up working out for both teams for sure.
Yeah, because the flip side of it is, um, I would say Austin may not have won the championship that year without Breeze and Cooks. I don't remember how significant Cooks was for him, but that's a big trade. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, the takeaway for you is you got generational talent with Saquon still on your team today, but hopefully he stays
Unlucky.
healthy.
Yeah. And I mean, when we say generational talent in Saquon Barkley, I'm talking he did something his rookie year that I don't know if has ever been done in a running back's rookie year. I'm sure it has, but like it does not happen very often. He had over 2,000 all-purpose yards, and over 1,300 of those came on the ground. He had over 200 rushes and over 1,300 yards. So he was like 5 yards a carry or something like that. So
Mhm.
extremely good on the ground, very efficient. But then through the air, he had over 700 receiving yards and over 90 catches.
Mm.
That
That all
is
right.
insane.
That's crazy.
If we were in PPR league in 2018, like I probably make the playoffs.
So
like,
that's 2,000 combined yards, 2,000 all-purpose yards, about with 90
yeah,
receptions.
yeah, that's
Oof.
so many points.
Yeah, that's yikes. Sure, a lot of touchdowns to go with it, double-digit touchdowns, I
Yeah, I want to say he
imagine.
had 14 or 15. So yeah, he
Okay.
was an absolute stud his rookie year, and I mean, he was pretty good his sophomore campaign too. He was just hurt for a couple weeks. He still rushed for over 1,000, despite being out for like 4 weeks or something like that. So he had a good sophomore year too, and I mean, he had a bad week one this year. I think they played Pittsburgh or something in his tough matchup, but then obviously he tore his ACL week 2, so there's no chance to improve the rest of the year. So it's kind of a bummer.
Sure. Yeah, no, that's understandable. Um, well, nice. One other trade that we'll get to real quick is what I like to call a real solid football trade. So let me go to see if it's on here. Yeah, here we go. This is interesting. All right. So for those of you who can't see it, Brendan is trading the 2017 30th overall and JJ Nelson to move up 6 spots. He's getting the 2017 24th overall. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I would have to think. Let me see here. Can you confirm, was this a draft day trade? Did this happen during the draft?
I I don't remember. I don't know what day the draft was. I have to believe that it was. If it wasn't draft day, it was like right before the draft. Um, and I don't know what prompted the trade. Um, Obviously, I wanted players in round 3 um, to make that happen. Um, I, I don't really know exactly, but I was trying to move up. I'm sure it's when we would have done the draft.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
um, if it wasn't draft day, it was pretty close to draft day, and I found a way to move up 6 spots. Traded JJ Nelson, who became irrelevant very quickly. And I don't know if you're aware of who that 24th overall pick became, but it was one of my best draft picks ever.
Yeah, no, that's why I call this a football trade, and we'll say it for the audience out there is Kenny Galladay. Um, but
Mm-hmm.
my question to you, so I wanted to get your thoughts. So, did you have Kenny Galladay in mind specifically? Like, I wasn't sure if you made this trade to specifically get Kenny.
So I guess I don't know when I made the trade, but I knew going
Mhm.
into the draft that I wanted Kenny Galladay.
Okay.
Um, Now I don't know the timing of it because obviously I drafted McNichols ahead of Galladay 1 pick. So my hunch is that I did move up to select Galladay because otherwise I would have probably taken Galladay over McNichols. Um, so I wanted Galladay for sure going into that draft, and I made it happen.
What did you see in Galladay? I don't even know what college. Where did he go to college?
He went to, I want to say he started out at some college in North Dakota. It might have been
Hmm.
North Dakota. He started there and then was a transfer. He might have been a grad transfer to Northern Illinois.
Wow.
Um,
Okay.
and basically, the dude's a freak. He's what, like 6'4". He's got big hands. He's got good, solid speed. He can high point the ball extremely well. Basically, looked like the epitome of a red zone threat and a deep threat. And so I was like, if this guy isn't a stud, I have to at least take a risk on it because it's the 3rd round and he looks like a prototypical alpha wide receiver in the NFL. And that's what I saw in him. And I was like, I got to get this guy on my team as quickly as possible.
That's
And
awesome. Hey, yeah, you did your research on small school guys, but a big guy too. So I'm sure that's what one of the main things that stood out. Um, so Brendan, there's been some text going around from you. I think you sent to most of the league,
mhm.
and Kenny Galladay has been a part of those text messages. You are trying to trade him right now. Is that correct?
So I was.
Mm,
And basically, I wasn't liking the return that I'd be getting. Basically, all of the people that would be interested, so Johnny, Mr. B, uh, your dad, Chris, um, all these people don't have the draft capital that I want in return for a player as good as Kenny Galladay, who's got at least 2 to 3 more years left of his prime. Um, so I was shopping him. I didn't like what people were willing to give up in return. Wide receiver is just an inherently deep position. Um, so it's just I wouldn't be getting the value back in return to make it worthwhile to trade him. So I guess officially he's off the trade block now.
Okay, and what were you asking for?
I needed at least one first round pick, preferably middle round first, and then I would need more picks with it and maybe a player. And one template that I was working on with Ryan at one point would have been like it would have been your first round pick, so likely not like number 12, but
Well, it
also
could be number 12, Brendan, but
well,
yeah,
I don't,
okay, keep going.
well like at the best it'd be like fourth overall, and at worst it would have probably been somewhere like 10th.
Yeah.
So somewhere in that range would have been nice, and then Brandon Ayuk with it, and then maybe like a late pick. And I just don't think Ryan wanted to part with Ayuk or the pick. He'd probably prefer to keep him.
What
And
what kind of pick, like late pick? You mean like a fourth rounder?
yeah, third or fourth. I'd even go like maybe second in 2022. Just I need basically I need a way to try and replace Galladay if I trade him. So I want a young wide receiver that could maybe turn into a number one at some point in the future. I need a draft pick if the wide receiver doesn't work out to try and hit on a guy like maybe Jamar Chase. Basically, I just need a way to replace Galladay if I trade him.
Mr. Brendan Ritchie, I have a live trade offer for you. I have
All right.
been holding this in just in case. Now, a lot of things have fallen into place for me to be able to offer you this. And don't accept it all. Well, you don't have to accept it right away, but you can take a minute to accept it. So
All right.
I'm gonna give you first round pick, which is Ryan's pick. So you know it's going to be a top 6 pick. Okay.
Okay.
So 2021 first round pick, which is Ryan's.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to give you a 2022 second round pick.
Okay.
And I'm going to give you Paris Campbell.
So if you would have offered me this last year, I might have considered it because Paris Campbell looked like he might have been the T.Y. Hilton replacement. But now the Colts went out and
Don't
drafted a
say it.
receiver. The Colts went out and drafted another wide receiver. Um, and now actually both of those receivers are hurt in Pittman and Campbell. So they're both hurt, and they're competing against each other. And T.Y. Hilton's still there, and the first round pick is late, and the second round pick, who knows? And I don't think the value is there for Galladay, so I'm gonna have to decline.
Sad story. All right. Well, unfortunately, Brendan, that's the best I can do. But I thought it'd be cool to have a live trade offer during this
Yeah,
show.
it'd be cooler if you would have put more thought into it and gave a better offer, and I could have accepted live on air. But
Oh, oh man. Yeah, no, I gotta say,
I just don't
back
feel that you really wanted it.
no, I did. And I had that offer in mind coming uh into this call. But
Mm.
I can't do more than that. I gotta tell you, I have had some rough experiences negotiating with the discount Belichick's ever since he's gotten into this league.
Yeah,
Um,
hey, Kevin brings up a good point in the chat, Scott. He says if you swap out Paris Campbell for T. Higgins, maybe I would consider it.
so his name was going to be brought up, and this is what I was going to say. Now, like I said, I've had some rough times with the discount Belichick's, but let me tell you, an offer I sent him after week 1 of this season, I offered him T. Higgins for Malcolm Brown. Straight up.
Oh my.
Straight up. Now, Kevin has to feel like absolute dog crap for not accepting that one, and I hope he does. Um, I like that everybody's on the T. Higgins hype train now. I offered him to Shin in addition to a first round pick, trying to get Amari Cooper. And Shin Woo's response, okay, he declined it, fair enough. But why did he decline it? Because he thought T. Higgins would suck. He compared him to Mike Williams. So I hope you know what? T. Higgins is not for trade. And not really because it really doesn't have anything to do with me thinking he'll be good. It's more so because Kevin and Shinwoo ruined it for everybody. So no, T. Higgins is not for trade. Goodness
Yeah.
gracious.
That's kind of the trade template that I'm looking for, though. If I'm going to replace Galladay, I need a young wide receiver who could be good or at
Mm-hmm.
Galladay's level, and I need a first, and then maybe something a little sprinkle on top. So,
Understood. Understood.
but
Yeah, I can't give up Higgins, but all right. So I guess I have to move on. Beast, I'll probably be coming to you talking about Devontae Adams again soon. I know we talked earlier in the season. So,
good luck with that.
yeah. Kevin, I swear to God, if I get a text from you about Adam Thielen, I'm going to block your number. Do not text me about Adam Thielen. Okay, I'm going to call out Kevin again because you're aware of the trade that the Koalas and the Belichicks just made, right? You weren't too big of a fan of that, were you?
No, I wasn't because I texted Mr. H about a week before that happened, and I guess he got like a pretty good wide receiver in Cooper Kupp. But I offered Galladay to him and put him on the trade block, and it would have been a roughly similar deal, first round pick and some sprinkle with it. And he said he wasn't interested in Galladay at all. We hadn't even talked price yet. He just said he wasn't interested. So
Well,
I
let me
don't
give
really get it. I don't really get it.
Yeah, so I'm glad. This is a good story you're sharing. You're upset with the koalas. You don't get his perspective. Well, I don't get Kevin's perspective because I offered him a first round pick and a second round pick, a first and a second. He accepted a first and a third from my dad. I offered him a first and a second, and he said no. So I tell you, I said a couple minutes ago, I've had some rough times negotiating with the Belichicks, and I have to make that public.
Yeah.
They are not
This
very much fun. Makes no sense.
this reminds me of the time where I don't know exactly the time frame, but it was before the Beast traded Russell Wilson to Johnny for pennies on the dollar. And I offered the Beast Tom Brady when he was still decent. So he would have gotten a quarterback and a first round pick for Russell Wilson. And he declined. So he
So
got less. He got less for Wilson than he would have gotten from me. I don't know the time frame and the gap between when that was made. I think my offer was like over the summer, and that trade might have been mid-season. But I mean, I was livid. I was very livid when I saw that.
and you've and that trade happened a while ago, and you've been outspoken about it ever since. I think
Yeah,
that's funny, and you commented about it last week when Johnny was on the
yeah,
show.
yeah. I was not happy about it. The Beasts say they don't remember that. I think they might have some dementia, uh,
um,
and rightfully so. I wouldn't want to remember that I made such a bad move like that either.
Kevin, by the way, your request is denied. You are not going to be added to this live stream. Bummer. There's nothing you could say to defend yourself. I don't even. I'm so upset, very upset with the discount bell checks. Um, Goodness gracious. Oh man, man. Brennan, I gotta say, this is probably bad to say live. I'm having the farts. I think I ate too much. So after coaching tennis, I ran to get a caniac combo at Raising Cane's. It's very
Oops.
good, but too
Hmm.
filling. That's 6 pieces of
Yeah.
chicken.
That's yeah. I usually go with just the box combo. That's only like 3 or 4.
Yeah, yeah. The caniac combo has 6 pieces of chicken. Two. I get 2 pieces of Texas toast because I can't handle the coleslaw. I'm not a big coleslaw fan.
I usually
Um,
go with 2 sauces, but yeah, same thing. I don't
mm,
like the coleslaw.
okay, that's an interesting move right there. Sauce instead of the
Yes,
toast.
sometimes you just don't have enough sauce for the fries and the chicken, so
Oh,
you gotta get those double sauces.
one sauce does not cut it ever.
No,
That I'm lucky. So this is weird because Nick is obsessed with Raising Cane's, but he doesn't like cane sauce. I don't get it. So I always just take his sauce when we get Raising Cane's. Doesn't
yeah,
make sense.
I don't know how you can go to Raising Cane's and like not like the lemonade and the sauce. Like it just doesn't make any sense. I'm sure he likes the lemonade, but like not liking the sauce is kind of like a crime.
Oh, I agree. Yeah, and yeah, to respond to you, CB, yeah, I like the sauce. I don't understand how someone can like Cane's so much and not like the sauce. Doesn't make sense to me. But are you more of a Cane's fan than Chick-fil-A or do you have a
It
preference?
depends. So I guess if I'm getting like chicken, not a sandwich, then like I prefer Cane's. And the Cane sauce is pretty good. I think I would probably rate it slightly above the Chick-fil-A sauce, but they're pretty close. But Chick-fil-A's chicken sandwich is pretty darn good.
I'm gonna have to agree with you there. Yeah, sandwich, Chick-fil-A, chicken tenders.
Mm.
Yeah, I'm going Raising Cane's. Yeah,
Fries, I'll give the Chick-fil-A. I like the waffle fries. Pretty good.
yeah, okay. I'm not a big. The fries at Chick Fil A are better. The ones at Cane's are nothing special. But
No.
I get the kale apple salad at Chick Fil A. I think
Ooh.
or kale apple salad or kale crunchy salad, whatever it is. It's pretty tasty and healthy.
Yeah.
So I've
Sounds kind
started
of
to
good.
get that.
Yeah, kale's not my favorite. It's a little like salty for me. I don't know if that's like the right word, but
Mm,
it's kind of got a weird taste to me. So romaine lettuce, but I'll eat it mixed in with other lettuce. I can't just do straight up kale though. I think.
oh yeah, straight raw kale. That's oof. Yeah, that's not appetizing. But next time you're in town, I'll make you some kale chips.
All right,
Put them in the oven, little olive oil, and yeah,
all right.
maybe
Sounds good.
yeah. Next time Lee gets together too, and it's like a potluck, I'm bringing some kale chips. Be on the
All
lookout,
right,
everybody. Okay,
sounds
all right.
good.
Yeah, sorry. We'll get back on track here. We got a couple more trades to get through. Now, Brendan, the
But before
next
we continue, I want to
yeah.
respond to Mr. B real quick. He said he traded Brady to me. I do remember that. I think I traded a first round pick for Brady, so I guess that does make sense if he didn't want Brady back. But in the end, I still think he would have gotten more value having Brady and the first as opposed to just trading Russ for nothing.
Okay,
So
this actually brings up this is something I wanted to bring up. I could not find Brady in our record books and trades. So what?
yeah, I literally just traded it. I think it was a 2018 first for Brady. It was just a straight up kind of trade.
Okay,
Not much to it. I don't think he really wanted him anymore. He was getting older, but I mean, at the time, he was still putting up points. His salary is significantly lower than all the other top quarterbacks in the league, just because um, when it was drafted, I think that was the year he was suspended for like the first couple of games of the year.
mm,
And so he went for significantly less than all of the other top quarterbacks at the time. And so his salary has been depressed since the league started.
yeah,
So I was like, okay, that'll solve my quarterback problems if I get Brady and Prescott. So
very good. Yeah, that trade's absolutely worked out for
mhm.
you. I guess I don't know who the Beast would have picked, but Brady's been Brady's been great for you. Um,
Yeah,
Interesting. Kevin brings up Popeyes. What do you think of Popeyes?
So I actually haven't had Popeyes in a long time. I want to say the last time I had it, I was at like the St. Louis Zoo in their like cafeteria when they had Popeyes in there. Like it's been a long time. There's no Popeyes that's like really ever been close to me, so I've never had the opportunity to really get it. I've heard this chicken sandwich is pretty good, but
they're 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 popping up all over the place back in O'Fallon now. So
mm,
there's one being built on Highway K, and
okay,
it's one on
I'll
Salt
have to
Lake now.
I'll have to give it another try when I'm back in town.
Yeah, my opinion is the chicken sandwich. They add mayonnaise. I am not a mayonnaise fan,
Mm.
so if you
It
get it with
depends. Straight mayonnaise, probably not, but like maybe some like chipotle mayo or some like garlic aioli kind of mayo. I'm okay. I'm good with that on like a chicken sandwich, but not straight mayo.
yeah, they do so they do the same thing as Chick-fil-A with the pickle. So it's chicken, pickles, and mayonnaise
Mm,
is what Popeyes has going on. I'm not
okay.
I will eat it, but I'm not a big fan. Like as big
Sure.
of a fan.
Hmm.
But what I will say about Popeyes is their sides. And I know if my dad's listening, he'll appreciate this. They have red beans and rice, mashed potatoes, um, green beans. Those three sides are top notch.
Mm,
Um,
for
very
sure.
very tasty at Popeyes. So I'll give them credit for that.
Hmm.
Um,
All right. Back to football.
yeah, yeah, wow. Yeah, and I'm not. And usually, when talking about food makes you hungry, but I'm not hungry right now. So yeah, the next thing I wanted to bring up was this Adam Thielen ordeal. Now, if you give me a second, I'm gonna look for this. No, do a control F. Where's Thielen in this? Yeah. So there were two there were two trades that kind of were simultaneous here involving Adam Thielen. And I want to
Hmm.
get your thoughts on this because I wrote down all the players that ended up being drafted here. Um,
Hmm.
So I'll just read this off real quick. So on May 18th of 2017, um, you gave away Adam Thielen for a 2017 35th overall, 2017 40th overall. It's like,
Yep.
oof, in hindsight, that's rough. However, the same day you traded away that 35th overall you got in a 2019 second rounder, and you got a 2017 23rd overall and the 28th overall.
Yeah.
So,
So I
yeah,
guess
go
before we
ahead.
reveal the players there, so I
Uh-huh.
think half the reason that I made that trade with Mr. B is because I was still trying to keep that streak going of where I had the last pick in the draft for like the first 3 years. So
Mm,
that was, I think that was part of the reason for that trade. In basically at the time, Thielen had like a big breakout game like the very end of the season, and so I think I was just trying to capitalize on getting some value for him at the time, which is why it seems like I traded him for pennies on the dollar. But I guess getting into the trade with Alex immediately after, I ended up flipping that 35th and getting
yeah.
the 23rd and the 28th. And that's one of the best trades that I've ever made. And I didn't know it at the time, I don't think. Um, I think that was a draft day trade or like in the middle of the draft. Um, and I traded the 23rd, get the 23rd, which turned into Jeremy McNichols. I was pretty high on him at the time. Ended up not working out in the long run, but McNichols has actually shown some flash. Um, on the Titans here, if Henry were to ever go down, he could step in there. But I don't have him anymore. But the 28th is where I hit the jackpot, and this is another guy that I had my sights set on, and I could not believe that he fell all the way down to 28. I thought he was a second round pick for sure. I didn't think I was going to be able to get him. And he kept falling and he kept falling and he kept falling. And I was like, I gotta make sure I have the picks to get this guy. And sure enough, he fell to 28, and I selected Chris Godwin with that pick. And boy, oh boy, was that a good one.
Absolutely, yeah. Especially was last year was his big coming out year. Had an absolutely outstanding year, and probably see that for many more years to come. That's for
Mm-hmm.
sure. Um, so you're content with all of it then, but it's kind of interesting because essentially you traded Thielen and Daryl
Mm-hmm.
Henderson. So Henderson is an interesting guy for you right now with having
Yeah.
Cam Akers, but and in return, yeah, it was like you said, McNichols, Matt Collins was in there, and then Chris Godwin. So would you say you're happy with how this turned out?
Yeah, I to be honest with you, like if somebody like at this point in time in the league, like maybe not this year, but last year, I think Thielen and Henderson for Godwin is like a halfway decent trade in and of itself. Um, like you could make the case that that's a fair trade. Now, granted, I'd take the Godwin side of that deal probably every time, just because Godwin's super young and Thielen's old and Henderson hadn't broken out yet. But I mean, you could make the case that that's actually a fair deal in some respects. So I'm pretty happy with it.
I agree. Yeah, I thought that was kind of an intriguing group of trades there because from your perspective, I wouldn't call it a clear cut win, but I would say the majority of people would take Chris Godwin in a dynasty league for sure. Um, yeah, so that's interesting. But I know you right now would like Daryl Henderson to not exist anymore. No,
Yeah.
that
So
would help your team.
what I think is going on too is I know Akers had one snap. I think he's still hurt. Um, Separated rib cartilage can take up to like 12 weeks to heal,
Mm,
and that's what his injury was a couple weeks ago. And so obviously we're only like 3 weeks into that injury, 3 or 4 weeks. So he's probably still hurt, and that could be the reason why he got one snap the other night, and we just didn't know it because they played him. Um, and he showed flash the week before. So I mean, I don't know what McVay is doing. That whole Rams game was just a joke. Cooper Cup had like was just blocking the whole night basically. He had like no catches, and Akers got one snap. So unfortunate. Henderson's looked good, I guess, in his defense. Malcolm Brown, I have no idea what he's doing on the field. He's not helping in any capacity. But Henderson's looked halfway decent. I just need Akers to get some touches here, just so the Rams can see what they have at least, and I can see what I have. So he's good in college, though.
absolutely. Yeah, no, that makes sense. And you bring up Malcolm Brown again, and I really caught a break in Kevin not accepting that offer. But if you remember, Malcolm Brown had a really, really good week one. Um,
Hmm.
really good week one. And
Yeah,
Higgins wasn't
a
anything.
really
But
good week one, but if Kevin was a savvy owner, he would have known that Malcolm Brown is not the long term answer in LA, and he wasn't going to be contending. He wasn't going to be contending for a title anyway. So I feel like that's a no brainer. Except, um, but what can you do?
take that,
You know,
Well, Kevin's getting roasted by both of us today.
yeah.
Take that,
Sorry,
Kevin.
Kevin. I'm not meaning to rag on you. It just that's kind of funny that
Oh
you
no,
decline that.
he can take it. He can take it. Is it true that Adams also came from you? Did you trade Devontae
Yeah.
Adams?
So if you scroll back in, I think that was a 2015 trade,
2015.
or
Okay.
maybe it was 2016. I don't remember, but I think I was on the playoff bubble and I was trying to make it in, and I traded Adams and a couple picks
Mm,
for Alshon Jeffrey at
yeah.
the time. I want to say this was Jeffrey and the Bears. Yeah, it was. Okay.
Yep.
So Jeffrey on the Bears. So still good version of Alshon Jeffrey. And I was trying to go for the title. And Devontae Adams hadn't done anything yet. Randall Cobb was still there, and Jordy Nelson was still there. And so I traded Adams, who was young, up and coming wide receiver, and two late picks for Jeffrey. So at the time, I think it was a pretty good trade considering all the circumstances. But obviously, I'd love to have Adams now, It just sometimes that's just the way things go.
Yeah, I do remember looking at this trade and be like, oh, could Brennan have lost that one? But I'm like, yeah, yes, yeah, like you said, especially considering the circumstances. And Jeffrey had, I've never liked Alshon Jeffrey, but he has had good seasons. He's had a
Mhm.
solid career in the NFL. But
Yep.
nice, okay, very good. Well, there's one more trade that I wanna bring up, and I'm sure is obvious because, yikes, it was a blockbuster looking back on it, and it just happened this past offseason.
Yep.
Dwayne Haskins and Aaron
Yes.
Jones for what turns out to be CeeDee Lamb, Chenault, Landry, and then a third round pick next year.
Hmm.
Um, I think it's fair to say right now you won that trade by a landslide, especially
Yep.
considering how CeeDee Lamb is this season and his outlook for the future.
Yeah. So I guess at the time that I made this trade, the I wanted to trade Jones. I of course I'd love to have him at the moment, considering my running back situation. But I mean, Jones had maybe the best year of his career. He had like 19 touchdowns. That might not happen again for him, and he might not even get close to that. That's so many touchdowns. You got to figure he's going to come back to earth a little bit in the touchdown department. Yards could stay the same, but touchdowns are coming down for sure. Um, so I had to capitalize on his value when it was at its peak, I think,
Mhm.
especially given his contract situation is not a for sure thing. He might not be a Packer next year. I think they'd be stupid to let him go, but it's possible that he's not a Packer. And so I wanted to get rid of him, and I threw in Haskins for a little sprinkle because I was not very confident after looking at what happened last year. And it's not really a knock against Haskins; it's more of a knock against the Redskins or the Washington football team as a whole. I just hate their management. I hate their team. Everything about it just screams this team's going to suck for a while. And so, even though quarterbacks are important, we are going into the super flex. I could make do with just two, and so I traded Haskins and Jones, and I think I got max value for sure.
Yeah, and if you look at it from Patrick's perspective, it made a lot of sense because you're getting a quarterback, um,
Mm,
especially at the time just having Stafford, and that's what he just has to roll with now that Haskins is benched. But he needed a
mm,
QB, so there's a big need for him. It's like, well, I'm getting this young guy that I could hopefully have for years to come. But
yep.
yeah, it's a bummer how it's worked out for Patrick, and but he does have yeah, Aaron Jones maybe he'll be good for a little while longer, and that should help Patrick out. But it'll be interesting to see Patrick's thoughts when he's on the show. Um, but good, yeah, that's and you still get a pick out of it too. You get a 2021 third, so it's not
Right.
over
Yeah.
yet.
Yeah. It's not over yet. Landry has been really solid for me this year. He's been a good flex starter when he's got a good matchup, especially. And I mean, Lamb, he could be the dynasty wide receiver one right now. Like, if
Yeah,
you're asking me, do I want CD Lamb for the future, or do I want Michael Thomas for the future? I mean, I don't know. That's a tough decision. I probably am taking Lamb, considering Drew Brees is gone likely in a year or two, and who knows who his quarterback is after that. And so, I mean, CDs with Dak for the next. Uh, okay, assuming the Cowboys are not dumb and re-sign Dak, CD Lamb is going to be with Dak Prescott for most of his career. So, I mean, that it's just I couldn't have asked for a better wide receiver to fall to 9. And then Chenault's a nice little bonus too because he looks like a beast down there in Jacksonville.
yeah, I know, Brennan. I hear you, but you're assuming a lot. You said assuming the Cowboys aren't dumb. Uh,
Yeah,
I don't know. It's a big ask.
yeah, it's a
But
big
we'll,
ask, but I trust. I don't say this often, but I trust that Jerry will re-sign Dak because Dak was Jerry's guy. Um, Jerry actually told they were going to draft Connor Cook, and Jerry said no, draft Dak, and they did. So Um, it's Jerry's guy. I got to believe that he's going to keep him. So
No, yeah, I agree. Very good. No, that's good stuff. And yeah, that's those were a lot of big trades there. A fun fact for you: there's been three team trades in this league's history, and you and I were involved in two of them with Johnny.
mhm.
So that's kind of interesting. Now, um, I wanted to bring one of those up because it's kind of a weird trade. I'll read up what the who ended up getting what. So this was
Hey
back
Scott,
in
before we move on, can we take a
yeah,
quick timeout?
absolutely.
I got you could take this time to do a sponsor break, but I need a bathroom break.
Oh
So
yeah, you
I'm
go
going
to the
to
bathroom. In fact, I actually do have a promotion to give. So yeah, go. Yeah, go for it. Okay, folks. I was gonna save this for the end, but I'll go ahead and do it now. Um, just as a little background, this I'm getting paid to do this advertisement. Paid from who? Well, I can't reveal that. But not from someone in this league. It's from a third party. But this is big news. On Deep Diving with the DCs, I'm getting paid to read this. So here goes. Have you ever woke up on a Monday morning just dreading the week ahead? If you think of Mondays, Mondays are full of work, school, meetings, tests or quizzes. All you want to do on a Monday is just go back to bed. You're dreading the day ahead. You just want 4 p.m., maybe 5 p.m. to come. Everybody hates Mondays. So, what could make a Monday worse? Well, we have the answer for you. What can make a Monday worse is tuning in to Monday Night Commish. If your Monday is not bad enough already, well, you're doing yourself a disfavor by tuning into Monday Night Commish, full of misinformation, false statements from the commissioner himself and from the people on his show. In fact, there was a study done, and the poll says the best part of Monday Night Commish is the opening when the music is going. Sorry, I'm almost done. Despite the music being bad, it's music. But when sorry, I lost my spot here. But when people start talking, is when it's time to turn the show off. And then I was asked by my sponsor here to um, address the Pop Tart scandal and respond by saying a couple weeks ago when the Beasts were on Rye Bread on the Monday Night Commish, and he had some technical difficulties. Okay, and the commissioner came out and said that he did not. He was denying an invitation to be on this show, Deep Diving with the DCs. Well, this is very offensive um, to this show. Not because he declined an invitation, because that never happened, but because this was said, this false information was said. He never received an invitation, nor will he ever get an invitation to be on this show. So rest assured, folks, Rye Bread will not be on Deep Diving with the DCs. You heard that here first. And thank you for your time. All right, thanks, Brendan. Yeah, I had to read
yeah.
that little promotion here. I guess it's pretty cool. Got paid to do it. I'm gonna have to. In fact, I'm gonna have to include it on my tax return. Now that I made it public on here, don't want to get docked for tax evasion or anything. But
Sure.
yeah, good stuff. Do you have a good bathroom break?
Yeah, it was good. Yeah, I feel relieved.
Okay, good to hear. Good to hear. Yeah, we'll get back to it. I was gonna read you a the three team trade. This was kind of weird. I'll only read one because the other one was kind of irrelevant. Now, from my end, in this three team trade, I got a 2015 20th overall and 2015 25th overall,
Yeah,
and
we know
I
those
ended
didn't turn into. We know those didn't turn into anything good.
no, I got David Cobb and Matt Jones.
Ooh.
So, yeah, um, you got Teddy Bridgewater and Garrett Grayson. Um,
Okay, Garrett Grayson ended up not doing anything, and Teddy Bridgewater's knee blew up. So
yeah, you did not get any good part of Teddy Bridgewater here.
no,
Oh
not.
gosh, I'm here trying to read this trade, and oh Alex, this is very hurtful words from Alex Boydock. I just feel like I got stabbed through the heart. Oh my goodness.
That's pretty. That's brutal. That's brutal.
What I'm
But
basically getting from this ad is Alex enjoys Monday Night Commish more than deep diving with the DCs. Oh man. Oh, I'm not sure if I can continue with this show now, but
I think
okay.
I think Alex should just focus on counting corn kernels or whatever he does for his day job, and you know let the let the professionals handle the live stream here.
I agree. You know what? That's a good point, Brendan. Yeah, we'll keep going here. Now Johnny ended up getting Sam Bradford. Um, the 2015 21st overall was Javorius Allen, but this 2016 first rounder that you actually traded to Johnny, do you know who that player ended up being?
2016 first rounder Johnny.
But
Uh,
here's the tricky part, because here's the thing: he traded this to Ryan. But I want you to remember that you had this pick originally, and Ryan ended up making this pick.
2016 first.
Yeah,
God.
you could.
Well, Zeke went number one, so I'm assuming Johnny moved up a spot.
We'll assume
Um,
that. Yeah. Do you know who went after Zeke?
oh God. I know who went third because Johnny picked a wide receiver and it wasn't good. Who went second?
Yeah, this
Had
draft.
to. Oh, was it Jared Goff?
It was Jared Goff.
Ah,
Brendan, I'm bringing up this trade because how would you like to have Jared Goff on your team? I know you're a big Rams fan, and especially Jared Goff.
so I mean, Jared Goff's an interesting fellow, right? He sucked year one,
Yeah.
and then he got the reins and was pretty good, and then sucked last year, and now he's like an above average quarterback on a weekly basis. So I mean, I guess I'd take him now, but he's been kind of a roller coaster for Ryan.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I agree. Goff is an interesting case. I think if you try trading for Goff, like hypothetically, if anybody tried trading for Goff, I would say Ryan might have him overpriced, but um, who knows? Who knows? We'll
Yeah,
see.
Mr. B brings up a good point. Back then, Bridgewater or Goff. I mean, I feel like you got to go. I mean, Bridgewater was looking fairly good on the Vikings before his knee turned into spaghetti. So, I mean, I guess at the time, maybe Bridgewater because Goff hadn't seen a snap in the NFL, but it's probably close at that point in time.
Yeah, that is a good point brought up by the Beasts. Oh my goodness gracious! I don't know if I should take this call. Alex Boydock is currently calling me. I feel like I have to take this because he wouldn't be calling if it wasn't important.
All right.
Hello, Alex. Is this Allison? Okay. Um,
Are they like doing it or something? What's
I'm
going on?
not sure if that was Alex, Allison, or other. I have no idea what that call was, but I'll ask him about it later. But it did not sound like a human being. So I think it was spam. No, maybe someone hacked Alex's phone. Alex, if you're listening, I think someone hacked your phone. But anyway, we'll continue here. That was interesting. A live call from someone during the show. Okay.
Yeah.
Um, Brendan, we have gotten through all the trades that I wanted to get through. Is there something else that you wanted to go over? Well, actually, were there any trades that you wanted to go into more detail before we move on?
Um, not too much. I think we covered most of it. What's kind of funny is like I guess I've had two 30-second overall picks, and I've hit on both of them with Jones and Prescott, which is kind of funny.
Mm,
Um, and that Jones pick in particular, so that was originally my pick, and I traded it to Mr. B at some point in one of the trades that we had made. It was like a 1-for-1 kind of trade. I think I moved into the fourth round in 2016 and gave up my 2017 fourth. And then he traded it to Alex at some point. And then I got it back from Alex by trading him the 34th overall in Jameson Crowder. And I got that 32nd overall pick back and the 30th overall pick. And that 30th overall pick was used in the Galladay trade, and the 32nd overall pick was used to pick Jones. So uh, it ended up being like those two picks got me two amazing players. And obviously, I flipped Jones for incredible value. But yeah, it's I've been like flipping those third and fourth round picks for some good value. At least in 2017, I did. So pretty interesting.
yeah, making good value of those late round picks. That's good stuff. Um, which kind of just a quick recap. We learned from Alex week one that his team historically has been built through the draft. He's had more draft picks than
Mm-hmm.
anybody else. And one thing that he would take moving forward is maybe hanging on to his draft picks more. And with the addition of taxi squads, the taxi squad spots, that should help. And he'll be able to hang on to them. God,
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry.
Another call.
It's Chris. If Mr. Crispy Kremers, what's going on? What's up? This
What do you have to say?
this is getting up. This like another spam another spam call here. I don't know what's going on. I'm gonna have to get someone to investigate. Someone's trying to hack this show. I don't know what's up, but I'm very concerned with the phones of Alex and Chris. All right, I'm not going to answer anybody else that calls. Okay. Um, what was I talking about? Oh yeah, Alex. So Alex, yeah, has built his. The beasts are calling.
And now let it go.
I'm gonna let it
Let
go.
just let it go.
Boy, these boy docs are sabotaging this show. They're calling and it's not even them. What I think it
Yeah.
is they're probably holding their laptop like a YouTube video up to the phone. Is kind of what it sounds
Mm,
like. Yeah, I'm getting it.
got
Look, Austin's comment. Boy docs are trying to intimidate the DCs. This is this is not cool. I'm not liking this. I feel like I'm getting shot at by the boy docs. All right. Okay, I'm sorry. Anyway, and then Johnny, kind of complete opposite of of Alex. He's had more trades than anybody. Had a few, like Elliott draft picks, but really trade has been the big deal for him. Now, what you might be known for is those late picks with like Dak Prescott and Aaron Jones. Would you agree with that, or how would you describe your team historically?
So I guess my team has been interesting. So I guess I started out. I didn't really know what I was doing. I started 5-0. So like the team that I drafted, it was really hot out of the gates, and I ended up missing the playoffs. And so what I wanted to do after that was I wanted to try and make some trades, get some different players in, see if I can make something happen. And I think in doing that, for the first couple years, I didn't have a first round pick. And also my team like didn't get any better from what I was doing because I didn't really know what I was doing with making trades. And so I've had to get, I guess, probably a little lucky, but also I've drafted extremely well in the later rounds with getting Prescott 32nd overall in 2016, Godwin and Galladay in the third round, Jones in the fourth round, which I later flipped to Lamb, Chanel, Landry, whatever. And I've flipped Cooks multiple times to get picks, which is kind of funny. Cooks got me Barkley, and Cooks also landed me Akers. So um, Brandon Cooks has been helpful to my team as well in getting picks. So it's been an interesting combination of getting lucky, drafting well, and hopefully building for a good future. I just got to avoid injuries because they've really tanked me this year.
Brendan, the league wants to know, when are you going to make the playoffs?
Well, I definitely thought I was in this year, um, but with Barkley going down and with Prescott going down, I mean it's in Godwin and Galladay both trading off being hurt. Um,
I'm reading Austin's comment.
yeah, I could have used the 3 year plan. Yeah. Austin Breeze got me Barkley, but Cooks was involved. So anyway, um, yeah, it's. I wanted to make it this year. I definitely think I would have had I had Barkley. Have had I had Prescott. Like if Barkley doesn't go down week 2, I probably beat your dad. I lost by like an amount of points that Barkley would normally score in a given week. Um, I gotta feel like with Barkley in the lineup this week, I beat. Um, I win my matchup this week against Patrick, and with Prescott and Barkley in the lineup, I definitely beat Patrick. So, I mean, there's 2 wins right there that I'd have. I'd be 4-2 instead of 2-4. Um, you could argue maybe I don't beat Johnny. He kind of put up a shitload of points that week. Sorry, if this video was ever going to be monetized, it's not getting monetized now. Um,
That's right.
but yeah, he put up like over 200 points, so I probably don't win that matchup. In week 1, I had a mostly healthy roster against Ryan, and I was still waiting for Lamb to break out and Swift and all those guys. So I maybe don't win that week either, but I would. I have to believe I'd be 4-2 right now without those injuries, and I'm sitting pretty good with my remainder of the season schedule. I have the Beast twice, but after that, I would say that my schedule is fairly easy compared to the rest of the league. So
Is it,
um,
Brendan? You have to play me week 10.
yeah, I guess in terms of I don't have to play the Beast, Johnny, or Ryan after week 9, so. Um, I would say my rest of season schedule at 4-2 would definitely put me in the playoffs.
You don't have to play the Beast, Ryan, or Johnny after week 9, but you have to play me week 10.
Yeah, I got to play you week 10. And you know what? You actually would have gotten me on a very good week. I think the Cowboys are on a bye. So you might have actually won that week just due to that. Um, but yeah.
Look, I'm just trying to stick up for my team because I hear on Monday Night Commish every single week, no matter the guest, whether he's by himself, with a guest, it's like, well, let's take a look. Let's look ahead to the schedule with, with Chris and Alex. Like, oh, what do you got? You got easy schedule. Okay, so and so this week, so and so this week. Then we got the Dynasty Champions. There's an easy W every time I'm brought up, going over the schedule. It's like Dynasty Champions, easy. That's an easy win, no
Yeah.
problem.
I mean, you're 3-3. You have a win over the Beast. So, I mean, your team's not no slouch. You're definitely not like Johnny level, but you're also not like Shinwoo. So you're somewhere in the middle. So I mean, it's probably a little bit of shade being thrown your way unnecessarily. You've made some questionable start sit decisions that I feel like have warranted some criticism, but for the most part, probably you're getting a little bit too much flack. But yeah,
This reminds me. This reminds me. I'm glad you're still listening, Mr. Beast, because the Dynasty Champion organization has really been thinking a lot about your comments when you said your loss to the Dynasty Champions was the most embarrassing of your career. Now, this really took us aback. The Dynasty Champions are a well respected organization. We hold ourselves in high esteem. We feel like we have a championship caliber team. We aim for the championship every year. And we find it very offensive that you would call a loss to us embarrassing. Um, and the most embarrassing of your career at that. Um, I think I think you will have a lot of losses, more embarrassing than that. Take any of your losses, any other loss you've had,
he
but to
lost to
lose
me on a stat. He lost to me on a stat correction in year one.
that sounds embarrassing to me. But I don't think losing to the Dynasty Champions is ever an embarrassing loss. So um, we ex- we accept your apology that you never gave, but we'll make amends and move on from here. Alex, I don't even know what to say to your comment. If we weren't live, I might use a bad word that starts with an F and ends with a U. But I'm going to go ahead and decline your offer. And if you feel like giving me $100 right now, we could do that. I'll make that happen. My Venmo is Scott-Hornung-2, I believe. My profile picture's on there, so I'll expect that sometime in the next few minutes, Alex. Okay, Brendan. Um, are there any major plans that you have um, for the rest of this year? And what do you think? Are you officially good with not making the playoffs? Are you going to tank? You're just going to play it out, see how it goes.
Yeah, I think I'm just gonna play it out. I don't think I can like get Trevor Lawrence at this point. Shinwoo's 0-6, so I mean, I at this point I don't think it's possible for me to catch him to go get Trevor Lawrence. But um, I think I'll just play it out. I'll start my ideal lineup each week, and yeah, I mean, you never know what can happen. My schedule does lighten up a bit. I could beat the Beast this week because the Ravens are on a bye and my teams have some good matchups. So I mean, you never know what can happen. If I lose this week, I probably won't make it, but um, I got to go for those player bonuses. But I guess looking long term, I really like where my team's at. Like despite what's happened this year, I mean, I've got Brady for at least another year, Dak for, I mean, who knows how much longer? At least 8 years. You got to think. He's 26 or 7 right now, so I play till he's 35 for sure. Um, so I mean, yeah, Kyle Pitts number one at tight end, yeah, for sure. Anyway, but yeah, so I'll have Brady and Prescott for at least the next year. Brady maybe not much longer after that, but then I have Barkley, Swift. Hopefully Akers breaks out. I'm kind of banking on that at some point. Then I've got Galladay, Godwin, Lamb, Boyd. Maybe Fulgham would be something, and then I've got Chenault too. So I mean, my wide receiver core I'd say is as good as anybody's in the league. But I've got Jonnu Smith breaking out too. Um, so I mean, I would say my lineup's looking good. I'm probably looking to draft a quarterback next year, um, just to get Brady's replacement sooner rather than later. but it'll definitely help me, I guess, if I'm picking higher in the draft than lower to
Sure.
make that happen. But and I guess it's going to work out like that. But if I next year I have to, I think I've got to win. So if I've got to trade my 2022 first to make it happen, then so be it. But I think next year is the year that I've got to go for it. It's the end of Brady's contract with Tampa. Could be the end of his career. I'll have a healthy Dak. I'll have a healthy Saquon. I'll have a rookie quarterback, hopefully, that's starting. And my wide receivers will be top tier still. So I think next year is the year that I've really got to go for it.
That makes sense. And well, folks, rest of the league, you heard it here first. You got to look out for the Heroes Dynasty deserves in this next season. Very good. Well, Brendan, to finish it off, I have a little four thingy bracket for you.
Okay.
All right. So four thing bracket, and you get to pick the champion. Going back to food. Food's a topic.
Okay.
All
All
right.
right.
So we have for the rest of your life, you can eat Mexican food or Chinese food. Which one you taking?
10 times out of 10, I've got to take Mexican food. I really like some good salsa, not like too hot, but like some good salsa, some chips. Basically, I could go down the menu at a Mexican restaurant and order just about anything off that menu. Um, Pork carnitas. I mean, just give it to me. Any kind of anything with chicken in it. Give me some chicken enchiladas, some chicken tacos. I mean, I really, really like Mexican food. Maybe my stomach won't like me much after, but Chinese food also kind of does that to me. So, um, you know, I guess I'm picking my poison there, but I like both. But yeah, give me the Mexican food for sure.
Your mom would be proud. You are your mother's son, Brendan. I, I didn't really think about that till you answered, but um, yeah, that makes sense. And no, I agree with you. I like Mexican over Chinese. Okay, what about American food or Italian food?
Oh God. All right. So I guess this kind of depends on where I am. If I am in Italy, give me the Italian food
Mm,
every day of the week, without a doubt. It. I studied abroad, uh, spring 2019. Went to Italy for a little bit. Florence, Venice, Rome. The food there was absolutely incredible. I could eat it every day of the week for the rest of my life. Um, in America, it could be better, but like if you go down to the hill in St. Louis, it's good stuff. I think if it came down to it, I'd pick Italian, but it's close. You can't go wrong with some barbecue, which I guess I would consider American cuisine, or I guess you could be technical and it might be more Caribbean, but um, it's hard to pass up on that. But I could probably live off Italian food more healthily too for the rest of my life.
okay, I agree with the Italian as well. So this begs the question for the championship. Uh, I think I know the answer, but Mexican or Italian?
Ooh, it's so tough. It's so tough. Um, and the reason why it's so tough is because I think they're completely different
Yeah.
styles of food, right? Italians gonna fill you up with those carbs, that pasta. Mexican food, it might not fill you up as much, but like the flavor is off the charts with all the spices. So I mean, it's so difficult. Um, I think if I had to pick one to just live off the rest of my life with, um, yeah, man, it's so hard. Yeah, I guess before I to answer Austin's question, does St. Louis style pizza and toasted ravioli count as Italian? I'd say absolutely.
Yeah.
Um, it was invented. Toasted ravioli was invented as an accident on the hill, which is a very Italian area of St. Louis. So yeah, give me that. Give me that. That's Italian for sure, without a doubt. Um, man, that makes it even harder though if you add that on the Italian food side. Oh man. Uh, man, you know what, Scott? I am going to get a coin or something and flip it
I like it.
because I
Hey,
can't decide. I
This is
cannot
good.
decide.
I'm glad it's a
Yeah,
challenge.
yeah. It's each of those cuisines is just so delicious. All right, we're gonna do heads is on the front side of the credit card and tails is on the other. I'm not gonna show the other side because that's where my number is. But we'll do the flip. All right. In my head, I had Italian as heads, Mexican as tails. It landed on tails, so we're going with Mexican food for all time.
All right, Mexican food is the winner. That's what's up.
Yeah.
Now I got one more for you. You got to rank these one, two, and three. One is your favorite, three is least favorite, and you better be very careful. You might be offending some people in this league. So
All right. So
we have Peruvian food,
okay.
Korean barbecue,
Oh
and
God.
and Thai food. I know you're a big pad Thai fan, so rank these
Uh,
one through three.
oh God. Okay. So each of them has unique things too, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
Korean, you got that like umami kind of flavor where you got the spices and everything kind of coming together. And it's so good. And then you've got Peruvian, which is it's a lot of peanut based flavoring too, which is kind of similar to Thai, but and then Thai on top, like they put the kick into their food. I know Peruvian food can maybe be spicy, but Thai really puts the kick in. So, man, that's tough. Okay, if we're ranking here, here's what I'll say. Number three, we're gonna put Thai. Sometime like pad Thai is really 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 good, but like others foods are just a little too spicy for me. So I'm gonna
Mm-hmm.
put Thai at number three, and then we're gonna go Peruvian at two. Um, I'm just not as experienced with Peruvian food as maybe you are. I've had a couple dishes. Mango's a delicious restaurant, but I've had Korean food the most. That umami flavor is top notch, especially if you get some really good marinated bulgogi, get some edamame, some pot stickers. Oh God, it is so good. I got to go with Korean number one.
That's what's up. I know. I'm gonna feel bad if this happened more than once, but I remember vividly one time, my life going to Shinwoo's house and his parents made Korean barbecue and it was delicious. So
Yeah,
I don't blame you there.
Korean barbecue is amazing. You put man, you and the crazy thing is too, if you go to a restaurant, sometimes you can make the Korean barbecue yourself at the table. It's kind of like
Mm,
do it yourself hibachi, where it's like you put the little plate on the flame, and then you're like cooking your own meat, and they bring it out raw to you, and you cook it in front of you yourself, and you just can keep eating as much as you want. And I did this when I was in Dallas for my internship, and the guy there gave us, or the person I went with gave us a tip. He's like, you always eat the unmarinated stuff first because you can eat more of it, and then you save that marinated stuff for the end because it fills you up. So if
okay. Yeah.
you avoid the rice in the beginning, and you basically just stick to kimchi and the unmarinated meats, um, and basically like maybe some lettuce or something that's not going to really fill you. So you eat all that stuff first, and then at the very end, that's when when you're ready to be done, that's when you can start eating the rice, that marinated bulgogi. Um, make sure you mix in some kimchi and radishes and stuff. But yeah,
Yeah.
that's the tip I got. So pro tip.
A tip for eating Korean food. I didn't know there were tactics,
Yeah,
strategies.
this is more a tactic for it's like if you're trying to eat as much as you can in one sitting at a
Sure.
Korean barbecue place that you make yourself and they just keep bringing it out to you. It's typically like you pay the like meal price like at a buffet kind of, and you can just eat as much as you want. That's the pro tip if you're trying to eat as much as you can. Avoid marinated until the end.
That's awesome. Okay. I'm sure that would apply to other types of foods as well, since they are the most filling. That's interesting. Never thought about it like that before. But very good. Yeah, I respect your rankings and your choices from that. So yeah, Korean and Mexican, Italian, they're all big favorites of yours. And me too. I enjoy a good Mexican restaurant, especially if you're craving Mexican. Like there's almost like nothing better than that. I know Chris mentioned tacos.
For sure.
Yeah, Chris. Yeah, Korean barbecue is amazing. Austin, what is Peruvian food? All right, I'm not gonna be able to describe this very well, but it is very like rice and meat oriented. Brendan mentioned they use peanut flavor a lot. Like for example, what I would get at a Peruvian restaurant is called ají de gallina, which is, I guess the translation would be um like peanut butter chicken, not peanut butter chicken, like peanut chicken. So it's like shredded chicken with rice and this like peanut oriented sauce, which may not sound good, but I think it's good. Um, there's certain seasonings and sauces used to marinate the meat that would be distinct from other countries. I guess they have this soda called Inca Cola that's unique, made in Peru. So yeah, you have to give it a try. I think it's good. Brendan referenced there's a restaurant in downtown St. Louis called Mango. That's really good quality stuff. But cool. Yeah. All right, Brendan. I'm probably good to wrap this up. I really want to emphasize something. You know, we we have fun. Roasting people and stuff, but um, Beast, Rye Bread, Kevin. I think you guys were called out the most by me. All in good fun. Um, hopefully you guys enjoyed the show. I think we had some good participation today in the chat and the viewerships.
Absolutely.
So that's good stuff. Brendan, thank you very much for being on the show. It was awesome having you for
Yeah, no problem.
episode 3. Um, so everyone knows, we are contracted to have 8 episodes. So I will not reveal the other guests, but I have my next 2 guests lined up. But for those of you who haven't been on yet, you'll probably be expecting a call from me. So we'll see. But all right,
Sounds
Brendan.
good.
Yeah, thank you for doing this, and good luck this week. I wouldn't mind if you beat the beast. To be honest with you.
Yeah, me too. Let's hopefully we both grab a win this week. So thanks for having me on.
Yeah, that sounds good. All right. Well, have a good one, Brendan. We'll talk to you
Yep.
soon.
All right, sounds good. See you, man.
Bye.